Good morning, everybody. It's Lynn, the Leather Bag Lady. How are you all today? It is Tuesday morning. I was just about to say Monday morning, but we had a long weekend here in Canada. Actually, Saturday was the holiday, Canada Day. A lot of businesses acknowledged it yesterday. And I guess for you friends in the States, it's your July 4th holiday today. So lots of mixed up days. What day is it? Sunday, Monday. But anyway, it is 20 after 10 on Tuesday morning here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And I hope you all had a great weekend. I will share my weekend adventures with you after the bag. Now, today's bag is from a Canadian company that no longer exists. 2017, I believe it went out of business. I do believe that the maker retired, as opposed to there being any lack of success with their brand. I love this vintage brand. If you follow me regularly, you're probably already saying in your mind what it is. This brand has such incredible, simple styling. It is just great quality, nothing fancy. Although today's is a little unique, I will say. But Leather by Mann, Karnig Mann out of Kitchener, Ontario. Superb Canadian quality, and more on the vintage side of things. So today's bag is simple enough in its shape, little bit of a hobo-esque vibe, but check out the bicolor palette. It's a light gray and a dark gray. There is brass tone hardware, such quality, none of your little loops or whatever. This is actually fastened onto the bag. This strap is not adjustable, so it is very much a shoulder bag. Crossbody if you absolutely needed your hands free. I am a curvier lady, as I'm always telling you. So this would be sitting quite high on me. But if you're a little more petite, then you may get away with a crossbody position. So just some little accents on the corners. Very, very typical of this brand. You know, they could just have it be just the stripes, but nope. They do a little extra. There's no specific gusset, but these seams very easily allow a little bit of a platform when you have your items in it. But how beautiful is this? It's just so unique. It's got that telltale vintage velvet interior. Now, I've dated this as an 80s bag. It could be 70s, but I don't know. Something's just telling me 80s. No foam pouches, of course. There's your Leather by Mann, Karnig Mann of Canada, made in Canada. So not just a Canadian brand, actually made in Canada. And it just, and something I don't see all the time on his bags is a zipper pull with his surname on it. That I have seen it before, but regularly, usually they're YKK zippers, which are perfect, beautiful quality. But yeah, he's got his name on this zipper pull. So that is today's bag. It is listed, and I just think it's super, super fun. So there you go. And really nice to ship out too. So, and my apologies. Was it on Instagram? No, I listed, or I did a video for this bag, I think on Thursday or Friday. And in the description, I described the KGB black bag that I listed a few days ago, which I'm all over the place. I just don't know what day it is. It's crazy. So my apologies on that. But this, I just put this on Instagram this morning. And this was the previous bag that I listed, a denier, Beautiful, beautiful mahogany brown denier. So, what did we do this weekend? Oh my goodness, where do I begin? So, this weekend was, as I said, a holiday weekend here in Canada. So, we had a three night kind of 4 day weekend. Now, Pius has been on vacation, so we had all day Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and we took the van camping. And the forecast said it was supposed to rain all weekend, but we thought, you know what, screw it. We're going to take our chances and we're going to go. So I started Friday morning at about 6:30 because Pius went out to meet one of his buddies. I think I shared that with you already. I had totes everywhere. It took me hours to put these totes together. But in my head, I'm thinking once it's together, it's going to stay together because we're going to be camping with the van on a regular basis. So I got all that done. Pies came home. We tried to load up the van. All of a sudden, the back hatch wouldn't open. So the unique thing with our van, which is a 1995 Chevy Astro, is it has barn doors at the bottom and then a glass flip up at the top. The glass wouldn't open. And when the glass doesn't open, the barn doors don't open. So Pius was getting very, very, very frustrated. Now he's dealing with an arm injury, rotator cuff, we think. He's in a lot of pain, but he was getting mad. So he was being a little bit more forceful with his arm than he should have. So we decided we were just going to load everything in the side door, and we called the mechanic. So we called Eric at Tate's Garage in Jarvis, and he was just too busy to look at it. But we went there anyway because Pi said, well, maybe I can borrow some tools and I can try and figure it out myself. The most important part of that whole thing is we also purchased an SUV tent. So this tent is actually a tent that has like a tube on it on the back end that you can wrap around the back of your vehicle. And it was going to be a very important part of our kind of setup. So we had to get the hatch open. So off we go to Jarvis, and Pius gets a screwdriver, takes the moldings off, and he just can't figure it out, and he's getting madder and madder. So I Google it, or I YouTube it. Sure enough, there's one video. Gratitude to the young man who put the video on, because even in his video, he said there is nothing on YouTube telling you how to get a hatch up without the remote. So we figured it out. Pius got it open. We needed a little washer or something. So worst came to worst, we could do it manually. And off we went. The heat on Friday was pretty significant. So there's no AC in the van. That needs quite an expensive repair. Not so much the part, but the labor apparently is quite significant. So off we go. We get to the park, which is in Cayuga, Sun Retreats Trailer Park in Cayuga. I've been going to Cayuga for years. I was with a gentleman for quite a few years who had a drag car, and we would go to Cayuga every weekend. And I never saw this place before. So in we go, and we sign in, and the ladies are lovely. There is a Tory, a beautiful golden retriever in the office, so you know I'm all over the dog. And then there's this frame, a clear Perspex frame with 4 trailers for sale. So of course I'm looking at the trailers, and we've had a very stressful time getting there. And I said to Pi, so maybe your trailer isn't so bad after all. Because if you follow me regularly, you've heard me talk in the past about the fact that I love trailer life. And I don't mean driving it around or whatever. Going to a park, turning your key in the lock, pouring yourself a drink on a Friday afternoon, sitting your ass down, and you are relaxing instantly. So jokey, jokey, ha ha ha. We go to our spot and we start setting up. So we've never set this tent up before. We don't know if all the parts are there. And we're both getting a little frustrated with each other, but we're still doing okay. We get the tent set up, and Pius is basically lying on the ground trying to connect the bottom of this tent to the bottom of the van. And I said to him, "How's the trailer looking at the moment?" And he's like, "Pretty freaking good." So we actually ended up being in the middle of a 5 trailer group that were meeting there, friends, whatever, high school buddies. But we were under a tree, we were in the shade, and we knew we had no AC. And we said to these guys, we would move in a heartbeat for you, but we need the shade. So one of the gentlemen's like, "Oh, we've got a couple of fans you can use." And we're like, "Yeah, okay, we'll see how it goes." Well, this man, Mike is his name, saved our life. If we hadn't had the fans, we would not have gone. We wouldn't have stayed because it was so hot. I went and I got the Coleman table set up, the barbecue, everything. And I started making dinner. I had a glass of wine. We're starting to make dinner. So we had a great meal. I really enjoyed cooking. And then we turned in for the night, and it wasn't as bad with the fans, but oh my goodness me. I've not slept well for 2 weeks, and it's really, really kicking my ass. Like, I am exhausted between the hot flashes and being in a strange bed, somebody I don't know's house. And on top of that, Blair and Karen, Pius's best friend, and his wife took in international students. So they were literally across the hall from us at their place. So I just felt so self-conscious about, poor Pius. I said, "There's no hanky-panky in this house." Not bad enough that it's your best friend and his wife's house. I've met them once prior to that. But there's 2 17-year-old young ladies across the hall and down the hall. That ain't happening. And he just was like, "Yeah, well, I figured as much." So we got up in the morning on Saturday morning. I made a brilliant breakfast, really bacon and hash browns and eggs and everything. It was fantastic, but I carried a face cloth with me the whole time. I was so unbelievably overheated. And Pius was like, "Do you want to go for a walk?" And I was like, why? And he's like, "Well, maybe we can go check out those trailers." Well, you better believe your girl was up and at him in a second. And we did. We walked past the trailers, the 2 that were in our price range, and we decided we'd like to see them. So we connected with the manager of the park, George, and he showed us around. And Pius just really appreciated this gentleman's no-nonsense managerial attitude towards running the park, because that was always the issue with Pius and wanting a trailer, is he did not want the drama. And I get that. I was very much part of a little cliquey group when I was with Bruce and at his trailer park, and I absolutely know. And then my subsequent drama with Dave and Christina, the couple that did or tried to do the ceilings, and that just never worked out. And it just, I get it. You don't want to be involved in that. The whole point of the trailer, for us anyway, is to be relaxing on the weekends. So we chose the trailer that we liked, and we just kind of mulled it over for the day. Because I said to Pius, we need to do some math. We need to look at our financial situation, and we need to decide whether or not we can afford this. In actual fact, we were moving to Nova Scotia. When we came back from Nova Scotia, we had looked at property, we'd looked at houses, and that was the plan. And my mom and dad really were not on board with that, which, was something I wasn't quite prepared for actually. But my dad kind of took Pius to one side and my mom took me to one side. And I thought, oh, okay, this is more of a deal than I thought it was going to be. So we decided Pius has lost his parents have been passed for quite a while. And he just said, spend as much time with your parents as you can. And I thought, okay, that's what we're going to do. But if that's what we're going to do, then that means we have to stay in this house. We cannot afford. We looked and yeah, the listing says, $399 or $499, but that's with the hopes that it gets to $599. I would do the very same with this little shack here if I was to list it for sale. So we can't go anywhere. We are here. But if we're going to be here, the van was going to be our escape, and it just was not for us. Way too much work. We're way too old. We were sore. We didn't sleep properly. Running up the hill to the washroom at 3 a.m. No, just not for us. So hopefully we will be trailer owners very shortly. As Pi said, it was the most expensive camping trip he's ever been on. But we put in an offer. It was accepted by the folks. We met them. They're lovely. They're leaving so much stuff behind that it really is just going to be a turnkey situation. Clothing, bedding, get cracking with your weekend. So we'll see. We'll see. Financing, obviously, we had to do that because it wasn't just a couple of $1,000. It was quite a bit. And we'll see how we go. So that means that we will be having to kind of tighten our belts a little bit in terms of eating out and, spending willy-nilly, which we do tend to do a little bit. So I'm not mad at that because I have gained officially 20 pounds. I got on the scale this morning. It was painful, but I had to do it. And I need to get the 20 pounds off that I've gained. And eating out 3-4 times a week is not going to get that done. So it actually probably is a blessing in disguise. Need to maybe get Pius a little bit more organized during his workday. But Pius's workday is a little up in the air right now. His shoulder injury is really quite significant. He's been living on Tylenol the whole time we were away in the East Coast. He thought that break from his routine would maybe calm the injury down. Our wedding day, he was probably in the most pain he'd been in up until that point. I think he had rested his arm on the back of a chair and had left it there too long because he can do this pretty well, but he can't do this. And he's had that issue before, and it was a rotator cuff injury that required surgery. And so we're just hoping for the best. He's being a real trooper, actually, because the bike is a huge part of his life and was a huge part of our summer last year. And we're trying not to do it at the moment. The bike is in my parents' garage, so it's not staring him in the face. They've said that it can stay there for a little while longer, probably until the car needs to go in the garage, I would think. But hopefully very soon. Pius has an ultrasound appointment tomorrow, and he's going to try and get them to make a MRI appointment right away because the ultrasound is probably not going to show anything. It feels very similar to his last injury, so it may be that he's going to be off for a little while. So who knows? It's all up in the air. But I am back getting organized with my bags. Oh my goodness, 19 minutes. That's a long video. But if you're still with me, thank you. I have got a ton of stuff for you. And you know me, more by the day. But I'm going to really have to hang back because we thought we were moving to Nova Scotia where they really don't have access to the quality and the brand names that we do here in Ontario. Not regularly anyway. A 5-hour trip to Halifax from Cape Breton, New Waterford, would give you access to your coaches and I think they had a Winners in Sydney, which is the main city in town, city, whatever you're going to call it, on the island of Cape Breton, but certainly not 5 malls within a 2-hour radius where you can get any type of exclusive brand, even Fossil, Root. I did not see one Roots bag. So my little business would have been very well received, I do believe. So I kind of had a different plan in my brain for the bags, as I have done for the last 2 years, 3 years of me talking to you. But we need to buckle down now. We're not going anywhere. We're staying here. We have to get organized enough for me to keep moving forward with my videos and everything that I said I was going to do, because I am going to do them. And that is it. So hope you're having a great day. Hope you had an awesome long weekend. If you are a Canadian watcher, if you are in the US, happy 4th of July to you. Stay safe, everybody, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.